Hello students, welcome to the academic year 2020-21 at St. Joseph School, Vijayapur for the 5th standard. Today we shall begin your first chapter of science, that is living world. This time your both science and social studies part are put together and that subject is called as EVS, that is environmental science. But we have bifurcated environmental science into science and social science. So the living world is a part of your science and that will be your first chapter that you'll be learning today. Students, I want you people to learn science in a very interesting and fun-loving way. Science is a subject that is applicable in our day-to-day life. We apply it in our life every day. So, I want you people to understand the various concepts of science that you will be learning in this academic year. I don't want you to just by heart them. Rather than by hearting, try to understand the concepts so that you'll remember it for a longer time. Hope you have a great learning experience in science. Now, what is the thing that we are going to learn in this chapter? After studying this lesson, you will be able to identify living beings and non-living things. You shall know the important characteristics of living beings. You shall introduce yourself to the method of food production in plants, life cycle and different types of plants. We should be able to classify animals based on their feeding habits, and we shall know the importance of protection of plants and animals. This is a very lengthy chapter and today we will be giving you just an introduction to this chapter. This chapter will be done in 8 videos and for 8 different days we will send you one video each. So today we shall see about the introduction to this chapter. Protection of environment is the duty of all. You must have heard this saying. Yesterday itself was World Environmental Day. That was 5th of June. Every year 5th of June we celebrate as World Environment Day. So this day we see everywhere posters, in newspapers we see articles, people sent save environment in your WhatsApp, in social networking site. Everywhere people are saying protect our environment. Protecting our environment has become very important today. So what is this environment we are speaking? Everywhere you see save environment, save the earth, grow more trees, use less plastic. All these things are being said every day. So we should know what is environment. The word environment is very familiar to us. The things around us is called as environment. You might have been learning about environment right from your primary classes. The surrounding things around us is called as environment. For example, here I have given 2 pictures. In the first picture you can see a house, you can see students playing, you can see the sun, you can see a well, you can see trees, you can see animals. There is a horse, a cow, a hen. All these things around us constitute our environment. I have shown you another picture. In that picture what do we see? We see a few animals, we see water, we see sky, we see trees. So all these things are part of our environment. So we can define environment as everything surrounding us and affecting us is called as environment. In Kannada, for environment we call it as parisara. We can enjoy environment by seeing. We see hills, forests, rivers, falls, streams, honeybee, insects, eagle, snake, soil, light, birds, and so many things around us which make us wonder. This is our environment. Our environment is home for diversity. Diversity means variety in different things is called as diversity. In Kannada, diversity you call it as Vaividyate. When we look around us, we find so many beautiful things around us. It may be a hills, it may be forests, it may be rivers, it may be waterfalls, streams, insects, birds, soil, light. All these things are so beautiful that it makes us to wonder how beautiful our environment is. And our environment is the home for diversity. It is a home for different kind of things. It is not home to just one kind of thing. In our environment we get to see so many varieties. So our environment is the home for diversity. You have the curiosity to know the speciality of this diversity. Haven't you? If so, let us understand this unit. You may be wondering why our environment is so special. Why there are so many different kinds of things in our environment. When you look around you, you don't find one thing. You find so many kinds of things. We find trees, we find the soil, we find sky, we find people around us, we find houses, school, so many things. Have you ever wondered why there is so much of diversity in our environment? To know about this, let us begin our today's chapter. Before beginning this chapter, there is a small story given in your book. This story will help us to know why certain things are called as living things and why certain things are called as non-living things. The name of this story is Lazy Somanna. Somanna is a lazy person. Even though he owns a piece of land, he has not worked for a single day in his land. He used to live only by receiving what others gave him. So there was a person by the name of Somanna, and this Somanna was a very lazy farmer. Lazy means alasi. He would not do any work. Whatever people used to give him, he used to just use that, and he would waste his entire time without doing any work. He was very fond of groundnuts, especially fried groundnuts. Groundnuts are also known as peanuts. In Kannada you call it as shenga. Especially he liked fried groundnuts, that is hurdid shenga. And once while eating fried groundnuts, he got an idea. He thought that if he sowed groundnuts in his land, he would get enough groundnuts to eat and he need not beg anybody for it. This Somanna, who was a lazy farmer, he loved to eat groundnuts. So one day he decided that he will grow groundnuts himself in the farm, so that every day he need not go and ask others to give him groundnuts. So he himself decided to grow the groundnuts in his farm. Also he felt that he sowed fried groundnuts, yield would be fried groundnuts. So what he thought that if he sowed fried groundnuts, then what will grow in the plant also will be fried itself. So he was so lazy that he did not even want to fry the groundnuts. So he thought that if he sowed the fried groundnuts, automatically he will get fried groundnuts itself in the groundnut plant. Not knowing the type of seeds to be sown, Somanna started sowing fried groundnuts from the next day itself. So what he did is, next day he went to the market, purchased fried groundnuts, and he decided to sow it in his farm. And seeing Somanna working in his land, the neighboring farmers were very happy that Somanna had shed his laziness finally. So Somanna used to go and he began to sow the fried groundnuts in his farm, and looking at him working, all his other friends and all the neighbors were very much happy. They thought that finally Somanna has given up his laziness and he is working. And days passed. Plants grew and greenery was everywhere, but not a single plant appeared in Somanna's land. Days passed, and in all the other neighboring farms there were plants grown, but in Somanna's farm, as you can see, not even a single plant had grown. Now we have read the story. Now can you tell me why plants did not grow in Somanna's land? Did you wonder why plants did not grow in Somanna's land? That is because raw groundnuts have the characteristics needed to grow into a plant. It is called living component. You might have seen raw groundnut. Raw groundnut means hasi senga. In fried groundnuts, the living components is destroyed. It is called non-living state. In the environment, there are living beings which have the living characteristics and non-living beings which do not have the living characteristics. Somanna was a very lazy fellow. He wanted to directly eat the fried groundnuts. So what he did is, instead of sowing raw groundnuts, he went and sowed fried groundnuts. Fried groundnuts don't have that living component in it. So even when you put the fried groundnut in the soil, it will not grow into a plant because that living component in it is destroyed. Only raw groundnuts have living components. So what do we mean by all this story? We mean that there are certain things in nature which are having living components in them, like the raw groundnut, and there are certain things in nature which do not have living components in them, like the fried. For example, let's make a comparison. When raw groundnut is sowed in the ground, we get groundnut plant, whereas when fried groundnut is sowed in the plant, we don't get any plant. Nothing grows. That is because raw groundnut has living component in it and fried groundnut doesn't have living component in it. For example, I'll tell. You all know this is mango season and everybody loves mangoes. So in your house, if you want to plant a mango tree, what will you sow? Will you sow a mango seed or will you sow a mango juice? Obviously, we people will sow a seed so that seed will germinate to be a plant and that plant will grow into a mango tree. None of us will think like Somanna that if we put mango juice, automatically we will get mango juice in the tree. Mango juice doesn't have that living component in it, whereas the mango seed has got living component in it. So Somanna did not get groundnut plant in his field because instead of sowing raw groundnut seed, he had sowed fried groundnut seed. Now we shall do an activity. Some of the components seen in environment are given below. Let us identify them as living beings or non-living beings. Put a tick mark in front of the correct choice. So according to us or according to you, birds are living beings or non-living beings? Of course they are living beings. Balloon is a non-living thing. Water also is a non-living thing. A mango tree is a living being. Vehicle is a non-living thing and pen is a non-living thing. Now children, on what basis did we classify this birds, balloon, water, mango tree, vehicle, pen as living beings and non-living beings? things are classified as living and non-living beings based on certain criteria or on certain condition or rules. What are they? They are growth, food, movement, respiration, excretion, response to stimulus and reproduction. So we shall learn about all these 7 things, that is food, growth, movement, respiration, recreation, response to stimulus and reproduction in your next chapter. That forms the basis of this lesson. So today we have just given you a basic introduction to environment and one story that was there in your textbook. So tomorrow we shall discuss about the main contents of your textbook. Hope you have a nice day. Today I have given you one activity to be done in your book. That activity I will send you in the form of PDF. Kindly do that activity. That activity states, make a list of 15 living things and 15 non-living things. This will be the only thing that you are supposed to write today in your science classwork. One suggestion to all of you students. From 5th standard onwards, you are supposed to use pens. Until 4th standard, you all used pencils to write. But from 5th standard onwards, you are supposed to use pen. Practice first in rough book and then write it in your classwork, because all of a sudden writing with pen may take some time for you to get adjusted to. So write neatly using only blue pen, the activity that we will be sending in the form of PDF. Until tomorrow, stay home, stay safe. Have a nice day.